Okay, so Mother's Day is coming up and I wanted to create a card for my mom, but one that was not just an open and shut card. I wanted it to be something a little bit more unique. Now my mom really likes flowers, so I'm gonna have that as like my overarching theme, but I think I'm gonna have to get my sketchbook out and I'm gonna have to kind of start to design something and see kind of what comes of it, and then I will take you along in this process and we'll make this awesome unique card together. So it's time to get my sketchbook out. So what I'm thinking here is that I'm going to make some sort of like flower basket type of card, but again, I don't want it to open like just like a normal card. So I think what I'm going to do is I'll make 2 different layers of this card. So for this first one that I'm designing, this is going to be, I think, the insert part of the card, and then I'm going to make a second piece that's going to kind of have like an opening pocket. Now the insert basket flower card part, I think that one's going to have to be a little bit smaller in order for it to fit and move in the pocket card of it. So the pocket one is going to have to be bigger and this one's going to be smaller. So with that all done, I think we're good to go and let's start making. So for this card, we're going to need 2 pieces of paper. Ideally, they will be cardstock or something a little bit thicker, and we're going to make 2 folds. So our first fold is going to be the hot dog way, so folding our piece of paper into that long way right down the middle. And then the second fold is going to be the hamburger way again, and folding it the width way. Now when you've made both of those folds, you are going to be left with this 4-panel piece of paper. And when we fold it in half, this top section, or the top panel, this is going to be the main card. Now to get our main card, I'm going to make that 1 cut down the middle, and I'm going to cut the long way, so we kind of have 2 hot dogs in the end. But get one of those sections of paper and fold it along that middle crease, and this is going to be our main card, which we are going to turn into a basket. Now in order to turn this into this, we are going to measure our piece of paper 2 inches from the top, and you're going to make a little mark on either side. Now the next step is we're going to make 2 lines down to the very bottom of the basket, and the very bottom of the basket is again going to be about 2 inches long. Once we've made those lines and we're happy with them, we are going to cut off those corners. And now this leaves us with a card that at this point looks suspiciously like underwear, but stay with me, trust the process. So we're just going to place our underwear card off to the side for a minute, and we're going to get our second piece of cardstock paper. We're going to place our underwear or our basket on top of that paper, and we're going to start to make the insert of our card, which is going to be our basket with our handle. So measuring about 1 centimeter in from that original basket on both sides, we're going to create the handle. So just bring it up into a very elongated oval, half circle, semicircle thing, and we're going to create our handle. And your basket handle can be any width, but I have made mine here about just under 1 inch. Now the rest of this is easy. We're just going to go over our initial basket and we're just going to lightly trace around that shape. Making sure to follow those handle lines though that are a little bit inset down to the bottom of the basket. Now we have our basket traced, but this is essentially a replica of our previous basket, and we need this insert to slide in and out of that basket pocket relatively easy. So I'm going to save you all of the headache and hassle and just give you the measurements that you need right here. So everything's just going to be a little bit smaller than the basket that we've previously made. So once you have all of your measurements correct, we are going to cut out our insert basket. So now you have created your main basket card and the insert basket card, which should fit perfectly inside. So we need some flowers to go inside of our flower basket, and I have previously created all of these flowers. I have a video on them, so I'll link the tutorial for it here. These flowers are on the doodle side, so they're relatively quick to do, but we're gonna go ahead and cut them out. So I'm just gonna cut them in strips first, and then little by little start to cut them out. You can cut them out like a sucker, or you can just snap your fingers, and then they're magically cut out for you. No, but seriously, these actually were kind of a pain to cut out, and then I very intricately went in with a little knife and cut out all the little pieces, but I think it was worth it. But before we go and arrange all of the flowers in our basket, we do need to go and color it and decorate it first. Now, to decorate my basket, I'm getting this very warm, light brown with my alcohol ink markers. You can use alcohol ink markers, you can use Crayola ones, you can use pencil crayons or crayons. It doesn't really matter. But I do think the light, warm brown looks nice for the basket. And this basket is going to be a woven basket, so in order to do that, we're just going to make an illusion of it being woven. So I'm using a darker marker for this, and I'm just creating some kind of upper weaves, like horizontal weaves and vertical weaves. And I'm just alternating where in the gaps of where each weave is going to go, if you can see that and that makes sense. And then I'm going to go in and start to create some depth by adding a little bit of lines, as you can see here. And these are going to focus around those weaves that are going up. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. But the one last part that I'm going to add for this basket, because I just think it adds just a perfect amount of depth to it, is once I've created those lines, I'm going to go in with another dark pencil crayon, and then I'm just going to add very, very lightly around the edges of each one of those upwards vertical weaves. I'm just going to go and shade it just the teeniest bit that you can hardly recognize it, but it just makes a difference. So now we have completed our baskets. You can kind of start to see the card coming together here. We do need to do the same thing for the insert, but we're just going to do one straight flat color of the brown that we previously used. So things are coming together. We have done our insert and we have done our main basket. So one of the last steps here is to add our flowers that we've previously drawn and cut out. So to glue all of these down, I am going to be using a glue tape, but you can use a glue stick or drippy glue, whatever you have on hand. I'm just going to put a little minimal amount on these long stems. Don't worry if they kind of look ugly right now, we're going to fix that in a bit. So go ahead and arrange your flowers as you see most lovely and beautiful, and start to glue those down. And now that you've done that, you can see your beautiful flower basket. Now you might not be super pumped about all the weird stems right now, but that's okay. We're going to cover that up with our message next. Now I've gotten another piece of cardstock here, and I've just decided to create a little cover up so I can hide those stems. I've decided to do a two-tone cover up thing, but you can do one piece of paper as well, and that's totally fine. And I have just measured mine so it just covers my stems, so everyone's is kind of going to measure a different thing depending on how you've arranged your flowers. And once I have glued that on, I'm just going to do a little message. If you're doing a Mother's Day card or a birthday card, whatever, this is where your message could go. And for one of the last steps, we need to glue the edges of this basket so it stays together. So I'm just going to do a teeny bit of glue on the edges. And once I have sealed that shut, we have completed our card. Now, if you do want to do one last little finishing touch, you can add a ribbon to your basket. And I've just gotten this at the dollar store, and I'm just going to do a quick little bow on the front. And here is your final card. I'm very curious if you are giving this to a mom, a grandma, a mother figure, an aunt. Whoever she is, I'm sure she is wonderful, and I hope she has a good Mother's Day. But until next time, happy making, everyone, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.